fight commentary breakdowns. So we got a viewer request today to look at Don Wilson. Don Wilson's the guy in the red, and he's the one throwing side kicks. Don Wilson's half Japanese, half American, and he's had almost 80 kickboxing matches, and he's won the majority of them. So, love those side kicks he's throwing, man. You don't usually see that in kickboxing, do you? See his opponents throwing the standard thing. It's so interesting to see side kicks. So Don Wilson is fighting Branko Cikatic. Sorry if I pronounced his name wrong. So Wilson definitely has a more, you could say, a traditional base than maybe his opponent. Ouch, he just ate that kick. So this was 1987. So this is another Don Wilson fight. Again, he's got his signature red trunks. And surprisingly, or not surprisingly, depends on what you think about Kung Fu. Don Wilson's primary foundation is Kung Fu. So we're going to see a lot of side kicks again. If you notice, he leads with this dominant leg. He has his dominant leg up front. Ooh, throwing some good punches in this. Wow. I was going to say he's mostly a kicker, but in this fight, we see a lot more punches. And Don Wilson's fighting Fanta. I don't know who Fanta is, but potentially he has to adapt. He's through knees even. He has to adapt his fighting style to based on fighter, right? So the first fighter we saw, maybe he could keep that fighter at bay with his kicks, but maybe this fighter is also a kicker, so Don has to switch to punches. Good knee by Wilson. Ooh, uh-oh. He almost got kicked on the ground, and now we see him throwing that signature side kick we saw on the other fight. So you guys can watch the rest of this. Here we have, again, Don Wilson is throwing a great little roundhouse. Look at that. Or you can call it a snap kick, whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. It's a cool kick. Sometimes people get so mad at me, they're like, you didn't call the kick the exact right thing. I'm like, who gives a... As long as you know how to throw the kick. So these are just highlights. And they're not clinched up, but they're shoulder to shoulder. Ooh, look at him. Wow. See, the cool thing about him, even though he has a Kung Fu type of foundation, it looks like he's put in a lot of work to have some good boxing too. So in this one, Don, oh, look at that. He threw a little axe kick right there. Look at that. Good hooks, man. Okay. Oh, look at that. Let's look at that real quickly. Slightly slower. So he threw a left hook. And then watch this. Boom, right there. It's a left hook or a left cross. Right when his opponent was throwing a kick, right? He caught his opponent. Look at that. So he kicks, doesn't reach him. Look at that. He slips. Look at that, right? He slips that jab. And of course, look at his opponent's chin. Taps that chin a little with a hook. Boom. Get him. Good head movement, man. So even though Don the Dragon Wilson has Kung Fu training, I'm sure he took some boxing lessons. Here we have Don Wilson fighting against a guy in black gi. Hey guys, you know that black gis increase your mana by 10%, right? I know that pissed off one of my viewers. Guys, when I say stuff like that, I'm kidding. Don't start tossing racist remarks at me. Look at the referee. Look how small he is. But Don Wilson, man, I love how, even though he's half Japanese, the Asians embrace him. They're like, oh, it's okay, he's only half. He only has half of the Japanese shit state. Okay, sorry, my Japanese audience. Man, you see what happens, man? When one person gets mad at me for making a tame joke, now I start going more overboard. His opponent cannot box to save his life. And his opponent also has a great... It's not an afro. What do you call that thing? A faux hawk? No. What is that thing? Okay, I think his opponent's done. But what is this hair called, guys? A mullet? Is that a mullet? So, guys, The viewer sent this to me because he wanted to show you can have Kung Fu as long as you combine it with other things, right? You'd be able to be a very successful fighter. And I think we really saw an example of that here. Although I just jumped to a screen, it looks like he got knocked down. But again, look at Don Wilson with his lead, his dominant lead side kick, and he switches between southpaw and on orthodox. Also, now he's at orthodox. Watch him; he's gonna switch. See, he switches all the time. This match went on for 20 minutes. Now I wonder if he has any grappling. He's a good striker, but anyways, guys. So this was Don Wilson. This is Don Wilson's professional kickboxing career. If you look here, look at this. Very few losses. And if you also look, he's been in movies. Oh, so he has been a boxer too. Okay. So he's been boxing too. That's why. Look at that. He's also been in a lot of movies. So look at that. So this guy obviously has Kung Fu experience, but he also has boxing experience, right? So what does that show? Even though it doesn't really prove anything about Kung Fu, but it does show that you have to implement a variety of arts into your striking even if you just want to go into a striking competition. Having multiple arts into your striking competition will help you a lot. And that's what Don Wilson's fights show. Okay, this was Fight Commentary Breakdowns. Thank you guys so much for watching. Talk to you guys tomorrow.